Every home that is within the WestConnex construction route is at risk of property damage. That's your homes. It's my home. And my home and my neighbours have quite extensive damages done by WestConnex. So over the last couple of years, I have endured the sneaky and underhand tricks of the RMS, who always just deny responsibility. And tonight, my aim is just to take you through some of those tricks and that they try to cheat residents. And I'll also cover off some ideas about what you can do to help protect your rights. And if anyone else has got some ideas, please share it with the group. It's a collective knowledge that is how we build on this. So the first thing is just always remember this, and please pass this on to your neighbours, that the RMS will always deny that they've caused damage to your home. They will always deny that. What their plan is for you to remortgage and you pay the repairs of your home. Well, I don't think so. So the cost of repairing a property can be a few thousand up to well into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this damage is not covered by insurance. WestConnex damage is an exclusion under our home building policies. So I'm sure there is no one in this room who's prepared to even give over a month's pay to repair their property from WestConnex. But I can assure there's no one else who wants to spend 5 to 10 years solely working to pay off a mortgage, which is what myself and my neighbours are looking at, and I think many, many more people too. That is not right. So this type of construction of WestConnex, it is a predictable outcome that some properties will be damaged, but the RMS will deny it. They will bully residents and they will cover it up. There is a big cover up on this. And I just don't accept that as an acceptable standard of our public servants. And I am actually quite concerned about our Premier and her ministers for not curbing the excesses of the RMS bureaucracy, and they've failed to protect us, the community. So I have just a few facts. Fact number 1, if you suspect and your neighbour suspects your home is damaged by WestConnex construction, you're probably right. Engage an engineer. Fact number 2 is that water is a key enemy of roads, and so always new drainage is an essential part of construction. And it's that drainage that can change the soil moisture content and groundwater levels that your home's sitting on. Now, I'm not an engineer. Vibrations could also be a cause, but just don't rule out differential settlement. In fact, you can't make a decision unless you're an experienced engineer. So that's why you need an engineer. So my tip, take heaps of photos. Take heaps of photos inside your house. Take heaps of photos of what's happening outside your house nearby. Photos of drainage, photos of water pooling, photos of construction. Make sure they're date stamped. A third really important fact, which I never really cared about before until now, is that a huge swathe in the inner west, from Ryde to Cogra, is built on the residual clay of weathering Ashfield shale. This is a highly reactive soil type that reacts to change moisture content caused by new drainage and deep excavation. And I think most of us live in these older homes and they are the most vulnerable. And fact 4, if you didn't already know, the RMS will always deny responsibility. So here are a few of the tricks that we've learned from the RMS. So I've put some pictures up, okay? This is mine and my neighbour's home. So picture number 1 was my neighbour's front bedroom. They did the dilapidation report just after construction. There's no cracks, okay? Picture number 2 is the same wall now. There's a huge, massive rent going right through that wall. And the picture number 3 is the close-up. That's how wide her cracks are. They're almost a centimetre wide. So I'll tell you what was in the RMS dilapidation report. I'll read this out to you. We have compared the defects between the 2 surveys and we believe that they have not generally changed. However, there appears to be minor In our opinion, we cannot ascertain these new defects are a direct consequence of M5 construction works, and they may be attributed to the continuous settlement and movement that is occurring throughout the building, which has caused the defects. This is the sort of crap you get in your dilapidation reports, right? Now, then their independent report went on to helpfully suggest how we repaired our homes. Now, our homes are 80, 90 years old. They are settling, yes, but it's not because they're new, it's because of the groundwater subsidence. So we have what's called differential settlement, which I think may impact a lot of people. So how do they get away with this? How do they engineer a dilapidation report that shows no fault? And that's because they engage independent sole operators who want more WestConnex gigs. So they're hardly going to bite the hand that feeds them, are they? Of course it's a no fault. So we ended up getting, my husband got an audience with the Minister for WestConnex, and who instructed the RMS to fix our homes, which they ignored. But they did do a third DILAP report. And that included another geotech, which only went to 2 metres when it needed to have gone to 7. And I might mention here that our engineer was highly critical of key emissions that was in the report, which included the soil moisture content detail. And also what only an engineer knows is the differential between the words problematic soil and highly reactive soil. I never used to care, but apparently that's really important, which is why I think you've got to get an engineer. I think if you take only one thing home with you tonight, is that it's not what's in the dilapidation reports per se that's important, it's what they leave out. So if you've got a friend who's an engineer, please get them to read your DILAP report with you and translate all those words. I'm lucky that I have a family member who's a very senior and very experienced engineer of 40 years. He can't help everyone, so he has recommended a firm. He doesn't work for them, but he's recommended a firm that we may be able to use. So another thing that they like to leave out of their dilapidation reports is that when our engineer went through the DILAP report, he found that there was a lot of stuff that they actually ignored the existence of WestConnex and the deep excavation, dewatering and drainage that was 30 metres away, just like over there. That's where it is from me. Because they claimed we were outside the zone of influence. It's just there. They were also very selective in what Australian standards they use, such as the reason for these cracks is a dripping garden tap, or the frangipani tree removed 15 years ago. But our engineer, again, pointed out these things add moisture to the soil. We are claiming damage because of the drying soil. What he also pointed out was that they conveniently missed Australian Standards Point 2, which is unusual moisture contents caused by new drainage. Convenient. And so there was a lot of other emissions as well. So again, it's what they leave out is important. Now, they can't use the drought on us. They might use the drought on you. Just always think, my home's been there for 60 or 100 years. We've survived other droughts. Why now? So we just can't let the bullies win. So what we've done, my husband and I, we've engaged Slater and Gordon. We're about to, I think, sign fairly soon. And we've also engaged the services of an engineering firm independent of a family member, which is Meinhardt Engineering. And I spoke to them last Monday, and I said that if residents grouped together, a cluster of houses, a street, a block, could you as a group approach Meinhardt Engineering, I think it's Meinhardt New South Wales, MEINHARDT, and see if you can negotiate a discount. Please contact Jenny Leong's office or Pauline, and she will give you the number for that person. I don't want to advertise his name. One final thing is that Rob Sherry of the Department of Planning told me that there's hardly anybody who is reporting property damage. Well, hello. Please make sure that you register with the WestConnex your damage, and please remind Rob about your damage. And one final tip, don't trust the RMS.